morning guys, welcome to today's video. Today we are starting part 1 of our kitchen renovation series. Today I wanted to show you guys some of the things that we've selected for our kitchen. Nothing has been done yet. We still have this entire wall that needs to come down, as well as demoing like all of the cabinetry and stuff. Right now all I've done is actually picked out the cabinetry and ordered it. Most of it has arrived, but besides that we still have to pick everything out. So I thought we'd go through like my mood board and some of my inspiration, and I'd walk you guys through kind of my idea and what I'm hoping for it to look like. Okay, so my actual camera just like died on me, so I'm gonna go plug that in. But first, let me show you what the kitchen's actually looking like right now so you guys can kind of get an idea of what we're working with. So as you walk into the kitchen, you can see it's already pretty tight in here with the doorway, which has been a real problem we've had. The fridge kind of sticks out a little bit. We then have this door situation, again, something we took into account when we picked our new cabinetry. I think the bottom hopefully doesn't come out as far. I believe it's gonna come in probably like a good 4 inches from where it's at now, which will be really great for this door. We have some uppers on this side with our window, our stove here, and then here's that wall that we're planning on taking down. Right now it's pretty tight. Like, in my opinion, it's kind of like an alley kitchen. I mean, it does the job, but definitely it's hard to have more than 1 or 2 people in here. And I think taking down this wall is really gonna open up the space like a ton. My inspiration for this space is definitely kind of like a European, French country cottage vibe. That's what I kept in mind when we chose our cabinetry we're gonna do. I decided to go with an IKEA kitchen cabinet set just for the price point of it, and also for the fact that most of it was still in stock, and I know we're not gonna be at this house forever, so investing 15 to 20 grand in like more custom cabinetry or whatever, it just didn't seem like the best option for us. This will be beautiful, but also add some value to the house. So this is actually a door, one of the doors we picked out. This one's small because this cabinet front is actually for the cabinet going above our refrigerator, so it's only, I think, 20 or 30 inches, but it's a smaller one. But all the big ones, like the 40-inch cabinets we're gonna have on the back wall, they'll be the same design here. And then we will have one cabinet that has a glass door front, but it will be the same color on like the frame around the little glass panels. Yeah, most of the cabinetry though is gonna have that front on it, and I think it's gonna be just beautiful. It definitely adds to the cottagey vibe. And I think the color of it's a good choice because it's kind of in between like a beigey greenish gray color, so it's a good neutral. I didn't really want to go with like just white cabinets, but I also didn't want to fully commit to like like a dark green or a dark blue or something like that, just because we do have this room in here that is a dark green and I love it, and I want to kind of like stand out on its own. Keep in mind though, the layout of this room is going to be so different, not just the kitchen area, like even over on the dining room side. I'm kind of thinking of even turning where the table is, like pulling the leaf out of it to make the table a little bit shorter, and using our seated bench area by the window and kind of creating a breakfast nook. Because once we have this wall down, cabinets will be going all along where the wall is here, and we'll actually have a second set of them sitting outside of it, so it's like a big island, like super deep with a ton of storage, since we don't have a lot of that. Really, when you think about it, we are going to be losing probably 2 to 3 feet into this room, the dining room now, but I'm completely okay with that. I think formal dining rooms aren't as popular now anyway, and it still is formal in a way, just the way it's going to be set up. It's just a little bit more, I guess, I feel like it'll be comfortable for people to be in the kitchen, sitting at the island, and then also at like the breakfast nook area. So I think that's gonna make a big difference. Now, the one thing I've been thinking about is, what do we do for the backsplash, right? Like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to even do a tile, if I wanted to do like some kind of beat board situation to make it like more country and rustic looking. And I'll insert some pictures here of like the inspiration I had for the backsplash if we're gonna do one. Still kind of torn. I did, however, just take the initiative and go get some tile samples just to see if that is something that I want to do. This one here I got from Lowe's. It's like a little, it's like a subway tile, but it's a little bit more organic. It's not like perfectly flat. It has like little ridges to it. Feels like more organic. I did like this. This is one of my top choices right now, or like the main one I really like. Now, a tough decision we have to make is also the paint color. So in the kitchen right now, it's actually just like a grayish color that it's been since we bought the house. I never really got around to painting it, so that worked out though. But I have here the two colors that we currently have downstairs. So this room is Sharon Williams Shade Grown, one of my favorite green shades. So beautiful. This is staying in this room. I really love it. And then I also have Sharon Williams Maison Blanc. This shade or color is a beautiful beigey, like I don't even know, beigey greenish yellow shade. It's just so pretty, and we have it in our living room, our hallways, and I forget if I did another room. Nothing, just those two rooms right now. But I just love it so much. It's so warm and inviting, but I'm definitely not sure if I want the kitchen to perfectly be the same color. However, that actually might kind of marry the two spaces together. So this is still on my list of consideration. Whenever I held it up with the tile, you know, I was thinking like, oh, that looks pretty good. But then I held it up to the actual cabinet, so you can see cabinet color, paint swatch. Not sure that looks really good together. I think it actually makes the cabinet look more gray. That's kind of where I'm at, is I need to find a new light color, a white or like a beige tone that complements Shade Grown that's in here and the Maison Blanc, but it doesn't like pull grays out of the cabinetry. I want it to feel more warm. Yeah, that's kind of where my head's at. I'm super excited though for how it's gonna turn out. Whether I do the beat board or whether I do the subway tile, I think that I'm definitely firm on one of those two options. The cabinetry is already here, so we're good with that. Oh, and countertops, I didn't even talk about. We got like fake butcher block, so that also kind of plays a part in the backsplash. Like having like a butcher block style countertop makes me kind of want to have a subway backsplash tile, just because too much wood or too much like beat board with wood countertops, like I don't know, I don't want it to be too much. I want it to kind of be balanced. So sometimes I feel like when I look at the pictures of the backsplash tiles, I'm like, oh, that actually might not look as like new and shiny when it's, you know, sat up against like butcher block. And I think the butcher block is going to really complement the sink too, since I got a white porcelain style like farmhouse sink. I think they're called apron sinks. It's going to be so beautiful. I'm so excited. All the hardware that we're going to be putting into the kitchen is actually going to be brass, or like, yeah, like it's more bronzy toned, because the faucet's like a bronze color. I've actually thrifted different handles I want to use, and those are antique bronze as well, I think, or maybe brass. But either way, that's kind of the tones I'm working with as far as metals. And then obviously we do have like our appliances are stainless steel. So I'm gonna try my best to marry the two colors sort of and make it work, kind of like a mix of old and new. I guess I'll have to just kind of play around with it as we start moving things into the space. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys my mood board that I actually had created a while ago based on some of the things that we did end up picking out. So to start, you can see here, these are actually the cabinets that we ended up choosing when we were at IKEA. And then this is the little hardware that I had actually thrifted like 2 years ago when we first moved in here. So these are definitely going to be going on some of these either drawer pulls or the cabinet top or fronts. If I didn't use all of them, or if I need more, I really liked this little knob here from All Modern. And then this one was actually from Joann's, but I did like the little like porcelain looking detail on it. Thought that was cool. Then this vent hood here, this I thought was really pretty. Obviously, nobody really wants a vent hood over their island, but we do have the gas hookup there. So if we have to do one, I found this really pretty one that kind of has like a more contemporary look. It's not metal, and it has pretty trim on the top of it from Wayfair. So that will probably be the one we end up going with down the line. Lighting is a whole other thing, because I actually originally thought I wanted to do like a flush mount or semi-flush mount with like a ceiling medallion, but the light actually, if you can see, it's like not centered with the room. It's like right there. So I don't think it would look normal to have an open area and then just have a light that's not centered. So I'm kind of leaning towards recessed lighting, like changing that to be a recessed light and then adding an additional one so there'd be two. And that way if we do, or when we do put in this ceiling vent thing, it's not gonna be like too much with a ton of lights. So that's still TBD, figuring that out. And I put a little window box here because we do have a window in the kitchen, but it just looks to our neighbor's shed, which is not like or garage, so it's not very pretty. So I would love to like have some greenery there or flowers so it's pretty to look at and everything. And then this was also some inspiration I had, was just little hints of blue. I think it's really pretty to add that in. And then this was kind of, you know, giving that, not shiplap, but beat board kind of vibe with everything. And it surprisingly looks a lot like the hutch I ended up getting. So you can kind of see my influence from here. And then these two colors I thought were so pretty. I really like this white shade by Farrow and Ball, which is called Wimborne White. And I still actually am considering using that in the kitchen. I think it would be like really clean looking and really make the space feel bright and big. So that's a potential thing there. This wood is actually the exact shade of countertop I chose. The picture here like shows a different one with our sink that we chose out, but this is the actual fake butcher block looking countertop, and I just love it. It's warm, but it's not too warm, and I think it's gonna really complement the color of cabinetry. And then this was another inspiration picture with the beat board. I thought it was cool that they actually like did the beat board the whole way up to the ceiling. They kind of just did that almost like as a wallpaper, like to cover the whole room. And I would not be against doing that because really we don't have that much wall surface space to be covered, so that actually could be really cool in the space, and it's not that expensive to do, so that's still on my list of potentially doing that. This picture just really resembled what we're doing. I liked that a lot, so saved that picture. Also love this little shelf thing. I would love to add a little shelf on the one wall. Probably wouldn't hang like aprons, more like pots and pans, but same kind of vibe. Oh, I loved these little chairs here for the island. They were like French style and they look so soft, and I really like the cane on the back of the chair. And that was the product photo it had. But they look kind of old, like, I don't know, like they have a charm to them even though they're new. And buying used chairs is something that like is always hit or miss, so I might end up just getting these since they're, you know, giving the same worn in vibe, but I know that they're new and hopefully they'll last a long time. Okay, so I was gonna show you guys kind of like what my Pinterest board was looking like for the kitchen. I definitely would say like if you're starting a kitchen project like this, it's kind of like a lot. Like Pinterest is where I started out with just getting ideas and everything, and it helps so much. I absolutely love Pinterest. It's my favorite app on my phone. I'm on it all the time, and it does inspire me to buy things nonstop. But let me just pull it up because I thought I could show you guys this too, just so you have like a full idea. Okay, so when I'm scrolling through my pins and stuff on my Pinterest board, I have a lot of photos that are like kind of like country or French country inspired, which like I said is the direction I want to go. I also have a lot that have like stone walls that are like more cottage themed, I guess. And that was my original idea when we bought the house, was like I would do this faux rock, like almost like German schmear wall, and I've since moved away from that fully, but I do like the look of it. I just think that like it's not the right vibe for our house. As since we moved in here, you kind of just like get the vibe of what looks good in here and when the house was built. So I think that moving to a more like French cottage theme is actually going to be a better look for the space. But yeah, these were just some of the pins I'll have on the screen that really inspired me. Just loving the beatboard background. I love the eclectic look of all the like old mugs and old, you know, dishware, adding baskets. I love how filled up the counter space is. Like obviously, yeah, you need space to prep, but I do love just a lived-in look. Like sometimes I feel like more is more, in my opinion, which, you know, some would argue against probably, but I just really enjoy the look of like things being lived in and seeing all the little curated items come together. So that's definitely what I'm going for. I love the little pops of blue in some of these photos here. I think it's just so pretty. But yeah, this board is like what it started with, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know, I hope I can bring this to life whenever everything's here. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I know it's not like a ton I was able to show you guys, but hopefully you get a better idea of what I'm trying to accomplish. And in the next part of this series, I would really like to show you guys like the demolition as the wall comes down, maybe do some thrifting to find more decor similar to like what's in these photos for us to put in the kitchen when it's done. Yeah, that's all I have for today's though. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next part of this video series, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.